Hey there, I'm the MadCatster. Am I glad to see you here? Well, if you thought Illuminaughtii's villain arc was finished, boy, were you wrong, because it looks like it's just getting started. She's taken aim at Oz Media in the worst way possible. I've got the deets and all the receipts, so buckle up and let's go. So I'm here with Sybil the Enforcer, and Sybil says, please like and please subscribe. And I know I told you in the last couple of videos we were getting close to hitting 20,000 subscribers. Well, have I got news for you? In the last 4 days, we've picked up 5,000 new subscribers. So we are now barking at the door of 25,000 subscribers. We need less than 200 more subscribers to do it, so please subscribe. And we owe a special thank you for that to Oompaville, who sent a bunch of his people over here to subscribe after he used some information I sent him on the Sniper Wolf lawsuit. So thank you so much, Caleb. I really, really appreciate it. And I appreciate all you guys coming over here. So thank you to Jamie for buying me 3 coffees from the link down below. I really appreciate it. But anyways, let's talk about Illuminaughtii. So as you guys probably remember, several months ago, there was all of this talk going on about Illuminaughtii and her relationship with Wonder and how she had treated some people in her life and Oz Media and the controversies that had swirled up around that. And it had all started because initially Blair, that's her real name, Blair had accused Legal Eagle of copying her editing style. And of course, that was nonsense because it was a very common type of editing with some highlighting and some other effects that she seemed to think that he had stolen from her. And of course, that sparked a back and forth between the two of them. Come to find out, there was certainly nothing proprietary about what Legal Eagle's editors were doing, and Blair was forced to walk that back. But that sparked a whole cavalcade of innuendo and allegation about things that Blair had done and what a crappy person Blair is or was to her employees and other people in her life. And so Wonder had come forward to talk about how he had been mistreated by Blair and about how she had given him a car to use and then took the car back. And in fact, during the night, she went from Colorado, where she lives, down to Texas, where Wonder had relocated to, took the car in the middle of the night. And in the car was all of Wonder's possessions because he hadn't unpacked his car yet. And apparently, or allegedly, she had tossed those things out when she got back to Colorado. So he lost a bunch of things, including his play button. And so he made a video talking about the hell she put him through. Also, the Click had come out and said how awful she was to work with and the terrible treatment he suffered at her hands. And so it was becoming clear that there was a lot going on in Illuminaughtii's life behind the scenes that we were not aware of. And Oz Media even made some comments. And he made an apology basically to Wonder, especially about the car incident. And then Blair sent a cease and desist to Oz Media. And things looked like they were heading maybe towards a legal confrontation. But then things seem to have calmed down. Well, Oz Media put up a video last week.
I'm making this because I'm giving an update to both my regular viewers and those who are here for something a bit more specific. To my regular viewers first, I hope this video can help explain where I've been over the last 3 years.
Where he talks about some of this stuff that's going on, and it looks like Blair has ramped up her villain arc, and she is really playing dirty with him. And it sounds to me like she's out for revenge, and he's about to lose his house because of her. And so Oz Media told the story of how, you know, he and Blair had met. He had moved to Colorado to be with her. It sounded like was sort of pushing him into some financial decisions that he wasn't sure he was ready for.
In the beginning, Blair walked me into several poor financial decisions. My naivety caused me to believe her reassurances that I could handle all of the financial obligations being dropped onto my shoulders by someone more experienced in life than I was.
And he talks about how he bought this house and she was living with him, although her name wasn't on the house. But he talks about how now she is going to foreclose the house.
Blair is in the process of currently foreclosing my home. Because of this stress of Blair taking my home from me, I need to pump the brakes and change directions so I won't be homeless come Christmas. Because that's when Blair set my home to foreclose, right before Christmas. And yes, Blair has the power to set the foreclosure sale.
And so I, of course, was like, well, how's she going to do that? Because he says her name wasn't on any of the documents. So if she's not on the deed, then it has to be some kind of a lien. So he goes on to explain that. He says that when he and Blair got together, her credit, I guess, according to him, was not in good shape.
Why these obligations were placed onto me? At the time, Blair had bad credit, so all of the purchases, loans, everything was being placed in my name. This included the car that she purchased, then revoked from Wonderstruck.
He's kind of vague about all of the spending that was going on and what was happening with the money. And apparently at one point he says that she basically was telling him that he owed her all this money, and yet there doesn't seem to be a very good accounting of it. So it's a very gray area, but according to him, what happened was she and her lawyer basically coerced him from how he tells the story. And so they got him to sign a document. Now, I'm going to show you in a second. I did some research on my own and I verified what he's talking about. But this is how he told the story of how they pushed him to sign this document.
The financial responsibilities that I incurred would stack up on me, building a mountain of monthly debt that would lead me into several financially tight months. This would lead me to asking Blair, my partner, for financial help for things such as my home, which she was living in. These amounts of assistance would be added to a ledger of debt. This ledger also includes things such as a non-refundable design fee and land deposit on a multi-million-dollar custom home that she threatened to break up with me if I didn't agree to proceed on this with her, as well as other financial expenses that I honestly can't account for, nor even come close to this number when digging through my own finances. This ledger would creep into the range of $180,000, an insurmountable amount. But this led to the end of 2022, where Blair would take advantage of not only my financial strife, but both my legal and financial illiteracy in December of that year. Blair, with her lawyer, would create an honestly quite confusing legal document for me to sign where I would agree to pay back her debt. Blair, being the person who signed my checks, knew that I couldn't afford legal representation. Blair also knew that the $2,500 that she was having me pay monthly towards that debt was almost as much as I was making monthly working for her. Blair would bring me to her lawyer's office, put me in a room alone with the two of them, with papers in front of me. Papers which I foolishly signed.
He says that after he signs this document, Blair basically drops him like a hot potato.
Blair used this debt as a promise that this would specifically help mend our relationship, not our friendship, and put us on a better foot. It wouldn't be until a few weeks after signing that document that I would learn that she had already moved on, and had almost everyone in my daily life keep this fact a secret from me.
And that's kind of like Wonder had told how she basically was forcing him to sign that lease agreement for the car as he was leaving town. So he had been driving the car, but now she's coming up with this lease agreement, which when I read through what he posted, and I'll put it up here, it didn't look like it was worth the paper it was written on. But it seems like it's her MO, you know, before she's about to sever ties with someone, she basically tries to lock them into her debt after having manipulated them, in my opinion, from what I've heard, by basically controlling their lives through her financial resources. So for Oz, and I do feel bad for him, I'm going to put it up here. I verified that, in fact, what it's called is a deed of trust, and it's basically a lien on his property. And so after all of these debts allegedly had been accrued, now at the 11th hour, she basically told him that by signing this document, it would like improve their relationship. So as he tells it, it sounds to me like he was coerced into signing this and not totally realizing what it was, not having a lawyer look at it, which of course he should have done. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in that document they forced him to acknowledge that he had had the opportunity to review it with a lawyer and elected not to, because that happens a lot in these types of arrangements where they don't want people to come back later and say, oh, I was coerced into this, I didn't have a chance to review it with an attorney. My suggestion to him would be immediately to get a lawyer to review this deed of trust and explain the circumstances and see if somehow legally they can basically invalidate that deed of trust. Because it sounds to me like he didn't really know what he was doing, and it's certainly, when you're having someone put a lien on your property, you should have a clear picture of what the repercussions are and what it really means. That's not going to happen when the only advice you're getting is from the people who drafted the document and want you to sign it, right? So of course she's sweet talking him because she wants him to sign this. She wants to get a lien on his house. And then he talks about how just after that she drops him, and apparently everybody else knew that it was coming except him. So now she had locked him into making these payments of like $2,500 a month.
This document gave her the power to foreclose if I was unable to make a monthly payment of nearly $2,500 for nearly a decade. Blair knew that even with my income working for her, that this wasn't possible.
And he explained how he was so wrapped up in her channel and working for her that he was neglecting his own channels.
I was able to assist in the push for Blair's channel to make the sudden and stark rise into a new payout range of 6 figures a month, all while I was being paid not even enough to get by with my monthly bills.
So of course, without her paying him, he doesn't have an income stream coming in from YouTube because he's been neglecting his channel. So now he has to basically try to get ramped up again so that the money's coming in. But in the interim, he's been struggling to pay this $2,500+ a month to Blair. And now she, like a total bitch, has decided to be vindictive. I'm sure she doesn't need that money now. I looked online, and I'm not going to like dox anybody, but it looked to me like she's got some real estate trusts and she's got property. And so I think she's got money. I think she has assets at a comfortable level where she doesn't need to foreclose on his house. And she could give him the opportunity to come current on the debt that he allegedly owes her. And yet you can see here, I'll put it up here. You can see she's exercising her right to foreclose that lien. And it's been recorded that she's intending to do that. And he's saying that she's intending to foreclose in December if he doesn't get caught up on the payments. It's a terrible situation. And I know he's young, but you guys, never sign anything without having it reviewed by a professional. I can tell you that even I, as an attorney, when I'm dealing with my personal life, sometimes will have another set of eyes look at it, because even though I'm an attorney, I still want a third party who's also an attorney to look at it. And this is Edith is being so funny. She wants attention, obviously, because I don't want to get screwed myself, and I'm a lawyer. So I suggest to Wonder that he get an attorney. But also I found something else interesting. Her company, Illuminaughtii LLC, if you look here, it shows that that name is no longer in her control because she let it lapse. So basically anybody could now go to the Colorado Secretary of State and register Illuminaughtii LLC. So, not that I would ever suggest to Oz that he do that. So let me know down in the comments what you think. This just gets worse and worse. And Oz is talking about how he's got this huge script that he's been writing for this expose video he wants to do about her, but he's terrified to do it right now. So he's going to focus on his channel, and he's going to continue to work on finishing the script up, and then he is going to go forward with the video. So I look forward to seeing what he's got to say in his epic video that's going to come out and how it's going to impact her. If I were her, I'd kind of want to probably play nice with him, because God only knows what dark secrets he's got that he's going to let out there. But it sounds like it's going to be juicy. But again, let me know what you think down below. Again, thank you to all our new subscribers. Appreciate it. Let's keep going. We're about to pass 25,000. Let's not stop there. But thank you to our Patreon patrons. We just got a new patron this past week, so welcome aboard. But thank you guys so much for your monthly support. We really appreciate it. Edith and I appreciate it. Thank you to all of our channel members. We really appreciate you. We appreciate all of you for your support in whatever form. The cats have a wish list on Amazon. The link is down below if you want to send the cats something. But in any event, in the interim, between now and the next video, take care of yourselves, love one another, and I will see you in the next one.
Pretty please. Subscribe, like, and hit the bell. I get a treat for every new sub. Thank you.